Welcome everyone to the second CFS Roundtable of the year, and thank you so much for choosing to spend this upcoming hour with us. Really appreciate it. I'm Paula Vega-Tagle. I'm the Global Partnership Manager and founding partner at LabLaco and Circular Fashion Summit. And for those who are new to LabLaco and our ecosystem, at the core, what we do is helping brands and retailers to digitize and connect their products at different levels of the value chain through Web3 technologies like blockchain and also virtual reality. And since 2019, actually, every year we host the Circular Fashion Summit, which is the annual XR gathering accelerating circular fashion through design, technology, and sustainability. And today's topic is denim digitization, which we will be touching upon the current state of material innovation and new circular production processes in the supply chain, exploring also opportunities for brands from design to brand experiences in the metaverse. So I'm joined by a wonderful panel, which I'll let Adriana introduce, and thanks for being here also with us today. Please, Adriana, take it away.
Thank you, Paula, for the introduction and for having me here. Good day, everyone, and thank you all for joining us. As Paula mentioned, we have a diverse group. So today with us is Ebru Ozcucuk Guler, Head of Sustainability at ISKO. And then we have Caterina Tonda, who's a ready-to-wear Sustainable Development Manager at Kering Material Innovation Lab, Stefano Rosso, founder at Decave, and Walden Lam, co-founder at Unspun. Welcome all. So for those viewers who may not be familiar with the organizations, could each one of you briefly describe what your company does? So let's start with Ebru.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Adriana. I'm so happy being hosted by you and being the platform with all my colleagues in the stage. So this is Ebru. I'm responsible for heads of sustainability in ISKO. And ISKO is a denim mill who produce denim woven technologies worldwide with a high capacity. And our main business that we focus on how we can continue to innovate existing ongoing performance fabrics with the rules that sustainability leads and all platforms approves. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Caterina?
Hi, everyone, and thanks again, Adriana. I'm a Sustainable Development Manager at Material Innovation Lab in Kering. Kering is a French luxury group that managed the development of a series of renowned fashion houses, leather goods, and jewelry. And in Kering, we have a strong vision on sustainability for luxury. And I'm really pleased to be here with you today and excited to be part of this roundtable.
Thank you, Caterina. Stefano?
Yeah, hello. Nice to see you all. Adriana, thanks for having us here. I'm Stefano. I'm part of the OTB group, but mainly today I'm representing Decave. That is my company within the Web3. Our goal is to be the space for the lifestyle space for all the most interesting partnership and collaboration between the fashion industry and this new realm around NFT, gaming, and the Web3.
Thank you, Stefano. And Walden?
Yeah, it's really great to be here. My name is Walden. I'm a co-founder, CEO of Unspun. Essentially, we are a startup that seeks to create fashion on demand. We have this 3D body scanning to customization process that can be accessible through the iPhones and also on the back end, a 3D briefing machine to be able to localize manufacturing in a pretty zero waste process.
Great, thank you. So we will just jump right in. Caterina, Kering was an innovation partner during the Circular Fashion Summit last December in Metaverse, where you guys actually shined a light on your Material Innovation Lab startup ecosystem together with Fashion for Good. So your organization has always been a long-standing advocate for innovation as a driver of change in fashion industry, especially when it comes to responsible design. Could you share with us a bit more information regarding Kering's sustainability roadmap and also its circularity ambition?
Yes, of course. As I was saying also during the introduction, at Kering, when we define luxury, we define it sustainable luxury. And this is because the sustainability strategy is embedded in our goal and in our operation, and it reflects not only the ethical aspect, but also the driving for innovation and value creation along the supply chain. So meaning that we partner with suppliers and with external stakeholders. The three main pillars of our 2025 strategy goals are caring, collaborating, and creating. So caring stands for caring for planet, climate change, and natural resources. Collaborating means for our employees group, but also suppliers and clients. And create stand for thriving for innovation, ensuring planet, industry, and collaboration with brands. So those three pillars, let's say, drive the strategy for 2025. And as you mentioned, in 2021, we released the circularity ambition. This is actually promoting a new mindset. So it's quite challenging, I was saying, and focus, let's say, on four main priorities, offering practical operational guidelines. This is operational to set a new way of thinking. And this is to promote luxury that lasts. So durability is a key word that we're exploring at group level with different level of commitment. New business model and approaching an holistic vision. So not only for end of life, but also sourcing. Circularity is linked for us to regenerative, for instance, agriculture practices. We released a dedicated fund, and also making production processes more efficient, and of course collaborating with other peers in the industry, because it's a common goal and it's a common challenge to overcome.
Great. And you are managing the sustainable aspects of the Material Innovation Lab. Can you tell us a bit more about your role? You started the lab. The lab exists for quite a long time now. Correct. But you have created some new divisions. So can you tell us a bit more?
Yeah, so the Material Innovation Lab was founded actually in 2013, so quite a long time. And it was always been located in Italy, near the operation, within the Italian Kering headquarters. And our goal is actually to provide and integrate more sustainable and innovative solutions. As I was saying, innovation is pinned to sustainability vision, so they go all together, and is supporting brands' supply chain, including providing sustainable material and processing option through piloting exercise. And our main aim is actually to create a framework with the pilot within each house to implement those solutions. We are part of Kering Sustainability Department that is based in Paris, and we work, let's say, as the operational arm of the strategy provider that is in Paris. We partner externally and internally, and we have two main umbrella of action. One is sustainable development, and the other one is responsible innovation. Let's say that sustainable development that I am part of is run with other two people, and we implement the ready-to-market solution, while the responsible innovation one take a startup and not yet ready solution for long-term implementation. And so these two link, it's a comprehensive, let's say, vision and strategic approach in terms of operation that the group is giving to the brands to implement their strategy. Within our team, we are diverse as well. So we have different background to be complementary and to be able to integrate all aspects of the complex strategy that we have.
Great. When it comes to denim within your Material Innovation Lab, like how do you approach this topic?
So actually for denim is part of what we call a research stream. So we have different research streams that are aiming to gain knowledge, investigate and scout sustainable and innovative solution. And this is a requirement that has been commonly agreed between the houses. the group and the sustainability department. And the research stream on denim focus on replying on the main. One of the focus is also to reply on the main question: how we design and develop a sustainable denim product, considering all parameters of impact. And so to be able to reply to these, we unleveled the conversation in three main areas: material, processing, and impact measuring tool. So we have different type of conversation and different type of level to address this topic at those levels. Materials, meaning testing innovative fibers, for instance, processing new technologies, like to address yarn dyeing or garment finishing. And the most important thing is to have a tool that will allow and enable our decision to be measured in LCA methodology approach, and have science-based targets to deliver this methodology. So this is the main approach that we have on the denim topic.
That means you are quite close to your supply chain, not only physically, but also within, implementing the data and the measurements.
We try to give a framework also to suppliers to operate within, because it's complex to have science-based targets when you work with a complex supply chains as the one as denim that have several steps, and it's very sometimes disconnected. So not all the sub-suppliers are really working together on a common goal. So we try also to have them all sitting at the same table, have them resonating in those terms.
Well, it sounds like a great future plan also, in case, I mean, you have to bring everybody at the table.
Completely open, yeah.
Walden, Unspun was also featured during the CFS last year, actually within the Kering's gallery. My initial contact with you was, I guess, in early 2019, thanks to the Mr. Edwin Kech of Hong Kong Rita, who actually advised me to visit your newly open space at the mills in Hong Kong. Back then, I remember you guys were installing the body scanning machine as part of your brand service experience, but you were also simultaneously working on a 3D weaving machine in California. So can you tell us a bit regarding the inspiration behind the startup, the Unspun, and how you guys have evolved over the past 3 years? I guess pandemic has brought a lot of challenges the last few years, but also probably likely some innovative solutions.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I think if I knew this group of people before I started Unspun, maybe we wouldn't have gone into denim, to be honest. We now obviously we know how complicated denim is as a product category is. I think so when we started, we really actually started from the machine side. Like, we were taking inspiration from the 3D printing world. Like, why can't that happen in the fashion world? And taking that perspective that, hey, we can't just apply 3D printing because that's not something that people would want to wear. And so instead, we tried to create a 3D weaving mechanism, and that's how the company got started. And so then the question is, okay, let's assume the technology work, big assumption. What products would people want? And we went through that whole kind of design thinking, ethnographic research process, and asked people, hey, if we can create on demand, what needs can we serve? And like, people just told us it's really hard to find bottoms, especially jeans. And because of how naive we were, we just went into the denim business, and that was the start of it. And so that's when we start leasing body scanner and create custom. As we started, it was in-person, offline as a format. During the pandemic, obviously that was not a feasible solution, and so we pivoted into mobile scanning, leveraging the inward-facing camera that comes with iPhone starting in 2017, 2018. And we leveraged that technology, and now I think it's mature enough that we can get pretty accurate results, even for custom jeans. And so that was the major pivot point. 3D weaving has always been happening on the background. I think we've only recently begun to come out and work with very select number of brands on potential ways to collaborate. And I think we've always been looking at this perspective, oh, like maybe we're coming at it too early. And a lot of the things that we work on are quite science fiction like, but I'm glad that I think it seems like the time are converging and the stars are aligning for where the industry is headed.
Yeah, obviously when you started, you guys already had a very unique position in the market by being both like a denim brand and also an innovator. So over the last year, you have also expanded your activities, and some of them have emerged into these great collaborations. Can you tell us a bit about the expansion of activities and some collaborations that have brought your technologies to the light?
Yeah, I think it's more, we didn't see it. Obviously, the conventional wisdom is, you have to be D2C, you have to like either be D2C or B2B. I think our perspective is just what's necessary, because like even as we were pivoting into mobile scanning, like if I had to go to a big fashion brand and tell them that, hey, like, there is future in mobile scanning, like, and we need to test it with your real customers, it may not be ready. Like, I think it's a very hard pitch versus if I can just test it direct with like early adopter customers and like be able to perfect that with early adopter customers. Like, so like that came out of necessity. And a lot of the collaborations that we're running, I think mostly because I think within the denim space, like we kind of know the bottom half of the body, and we're getting a little bit of credibility there. And then two, sometimes speed to market, when we have a consumer base and you can just test something out. I think it speed to market is so much faster there. But obviously, as we think about scale and actual impact on the climate equation, obviously we have to collaborate with bigger companies, and we've been doing quite a bit of that on the 3D weaving side.
Okay, and I mean, in terms of expansion, you of course everybody saw that you were working with Pangaea, also leveraging your technology. So that's great. It's kind of like doing a pilot that is actually put right into the world. I think that's that's a nice approach, also for in terms of collaboration, but also in terms of making an impact. So when it comes to your primary focus in terms of denim digitization currently, what are your future plans when it comes to this, but also your multifaceted operations, 3D printing? So anything that you would like to share?
Yeah, like I think we're on a mission. If on demand is still core to what we do, and with the maturity of the machine now, what we are talking to potential brand partners about is being able to set up these micro factories close to the end consumers, especially in this day and age where the supply chain crisis is really impacting how we produce in conventional ways. I think at least a small percentage of how we create could be done on demand, could be done localized. And our selfish wish is obviously it's like if they can be customized, even better. But yeah, so like we kind of work through this tiers of on demand, localize, and customize, and depending on the appetite of the brand partners that we work with, we try to push that agenda forward. So yeah, setting up microfactories to enable those three spheres of impact.
Great. It's kind of nice to see a common thread happening between both Caterina and Walden's spaces, that you have to be sort of close to your supply chain. Proximity is very important. Ebru, ISKO, like Kering, was an innovation partner as well in the CFS last year. I remember your gallery where you presented ISKO's circularity initiatives, like on biodiversity, your strategy, and also your R2 technology in the form of a digital art piece. So you guys even had this digital denim jacket that you could that can actually be worn by the attendee avatars. Naturally, this metaverse showcase would have never been possible without having done the groundwork first. So I think we met about 5 years ago, and you started the R2 platform for recycled content and processes. Can you please share with our audience a bit more about how did it all start and how it has evolved ever since?
Yes, Adriana, the journey starts first of all by doing self-assessment, what we have been doing for a long time. ISKO is the industry partner as Sanko holding for 100th century, and every single day you have to innovate yourself to be ready not for tomorrow but for the coming years, for the next generations. And it's a big responsibility when you are this much big capacity. You cannot repeat. In the meantime, you shouldn't sacrifice for how you well known so far. That's why after doing our self-assessment, we would like to understand and establish our targets, first of all. And when you put your targets, you have to turn your face to your suppliers first. Before, let's say Caterina, before, the other part, we turn our face to our suppliers. If you fix your suppliers willingly, not only to fulfill the forms or doing the sustainable audits, willingly how they can participate this journey, then you are more powerful when you are turning your face to the brands and the shoppers. That's why we would like to understand the usage of existing denim business material. And it's easy to see that it's huge amount in terms of, the usage of cotton. Even as Sanko, we are one of the biggest, the supplier worldwide. We would like to understand how we can decrease the use of natural fibers, natural, the plants. So it's very important. I'm not saying not to use it. Optimizing the usage is very important, up to the need, because all the waste hierarchy, the platform says first rethink again, then says reuse again. And instead of listing it, we said there is a waste and how we can make it tasty, how we can make it fashion, because we know as fashion. Expectation from ISKO, innovation. Expectation from us, colorful, strength, performance fabric. So doing it with recycled content is the part how we add master chef, the taste, I guess, and we manage it. Our R2 platform is a platform that can speak denim language, the high percentage of recycled content, which are vice versa directions, but managing it makes the industry more welcome, the recycled content, and see this recycled content as fashion, not only a rule in sustainability, but also a taste of fashion.
Yes. Well, obviously you're a global fabric supplier with huge capacity, and that makes all the supply chain even more complex. And of course, you just mentioned that, high performance is super important within your realm. So what adjustments did you have to actually make to your supply chain in order to successfully implement and actually scale the R2 programs, because you are doing it at scale already? And what kind of adjustment did you have to make in terms of design in order to preserve the high quality performance of the product, especially, when you're using recycled fibers?
First of all, by welcoming all the peers, the tries and innovations, that every single, the drop in the glass is very meaningful in our agenda. That's why nothing is wrong, but something is better. Let's start the conversation like that. So a few minutes ago, Caterina just listed 3 important, the Optum, it's very important: material, process, and impact ratio. This is not only unique, but it's good to list this, accordingly, because the material, the raw material that you choose as a tier 2 is very important, tier 1, and then the brands. We have to be very careful in the kitchen which bazaar we are shopping to make the test. And then also the process. So it's not only great scoring product, but also where you do it, in which conditions, not only environment, also with the social. So process that we proud in Sanko, in ISKO, is our, the power. How we can not only use less water use raw material, but how we can make it proper use also in the process. And impact comes accordingly. So my score will be the brands, then the shopper's score at home. That's why we have to be careful about what we are planning to make shoppers, the wardrobe, carbon handprint results better. I'm always repeating nowadays, talking about negativeness, even in sustainability, cannot make shoppers to touch it. So by choosing, we have to offer options. And by choosing the proper one, you add positiveness to your shopper's basket, not make them to talk about negativeness. So ISKO, because of our denim and denim specialists, we would like to make our own recycled content, which was a big step and investment. Under Sanko umbrella, with our recycled cotton center and recycled polyester center in ISKO, proper production of the recycled material, how we should keep performance fabric, durable fabric, which is the meaning of denim. Nobody buys denim or uses denim as to be disappear in a amount of time. So denim should be all time your body, in your wardrobe. That's why doing it with around 70, 75, even 80% recycled content was the key point, I guess, how we manage it.
Yeah, I see. Of course, you first took a holistic approach and then realized that, if you have to control the input in order to create the great output. You briefly mentioned, communication with the customers, not only B2B, but also B2C. So you have developed R2, but also R250 plus technologies. And I'm wondering, how are you leveraging the digitization when it comes to authenticity implementation, when it comes to communication to B2C, but also B2C? B2B and B2C.
And makes it C2C, it will be at the end, we can cover all. So in ISKO, for our customers, let's say B2B part, we have a ISKO code system that we give them priority to trace their, the choices by ISKO in terms of service, in terms of product, up to, the raw material. And how we can make the shoppers to trace it without deep dive to academic or, the sustainable jargon, how they can understand in an easy way and a proper way and a smart way in a second time, a couple of seconds, how can they trace it? It's not something, the different, but we reread the, the existing criteria and follow the textile exchange GRS rules. If a fabric as a second raw material, if you use more than 50% recycled content, you make the tier 1 garment maker to involve in game to make the brands happy to trace the recycled content journey. And we take our responsibility. We just made, our main collection, which is, the range, variety of different concept fabrics from 100% elasticity level to 3D effect level to rigid level to salvage. We make 50%, more than 50% usage. So a shopper, when they are around and would like to just see a QR code, they can trace up to production level of the recycle process of the material that they are purchasing. Because in a garment, in a denim garment, if it's just 5-pocket pant or a jacket, it's the mix. Around 70-80% of the responsibility belongs to fabric producer. So we would like to take this responsibility, and make it happen.
And the backbone of this traceability, of course, you're kind of making your own vertical system, but also is it supported by the blockchain?
On the way.
Okay.
We have our own, the QR code system but instead of default system, we would like to understand the target of the B2B part, I mean the customer part, existing their system, how we can serve better, how we can support this system. So as a denim, as a woven technology provider, how ISKO can help the brands to reach their targets in terms of digital sustainable ideas faster by giving quick time, proper definition of the fabric in the garments.
Okay, so of course, traceability and clarity as well as authenticity are
And user
what you're trying to
friendly.
embed. Yeah. Great. I will switch now to Stefano. Stefano, in a nutshell, DCave is a lifestyle hub of digital culture and a space to find both premier digital and physical wearables. Can you tell us a bit more about DCave's activities and what was the inspiration behind starting it up?
Yeah, sure. So, DCave aims to become the multi-brand space inside the metaverse where all the most interesting lifestyle projects, collaboration and partnership will find their home. Initially, it all started with the idea to create and generate a lifestyle marketplace for gamers. But then we shortly realized that gaming was just, the initiator. But truth is that thanks to gaming, the full NFT Web3 metaverse space became reality and full adoption by mainstream people. So we realized that our movement and our vision should shift from lifestyle space for gamers to the lifestyle space of the metaverse, and that's what we are doing, and that's what we've been pushing for the last year and a half.
Exciting new universe to combine with what we have currently here. I guess in order to do your work, you must have a super interdisciplinary team. Can you tell us a bit more about your company's culture? How do you actually curate your collaborations, and how do you leverage digital and physical wearables in order to promote responsible design?
Yes, well, our company culture is very much aligned to the new world, So we all work from remote. We are a fluid company. We don't have an office, even though we are an American-based organization. Truth is that we are all over the world and we work in different time zones. And a lot of time we ask ourselves, where are you today? But more than anything, I think the culture is a culture of openness, understanding that the sky is literally the limit, and this new space is giving the opportunity to anyone to show their skills, show their vision, show their values. There is a strong sense of community, community participation, community engagement, and that's what we are trying to portray as well, not only through the collaboration and the partnership that we do, but also in the way that we work together. And if you want, is also the way that we select our brand partnership. We try to go and have honest conversation with brands, and not only brands, also organizations in general that really want to make a statement, and they don't want to have a project with an NFT just because it ends up in in a newspaper and is a marketing
popular
stunt.
thing to do, yeah.
Yeah, we try to work to people that are really trying to push the limit. For example, we did a partnership with Bulova that it was great, just because they literally wanted to test everything we could. So we were able to go from designing a physical watch and producing a physical watch with them to develop a full space inside the Decentraland and selling wearables, a wearable digital version of that watch. And for them, it was a blast because it opened their eyes on a new way that they can interact, talk, and also spread their values to their fan base.
But also improve their technology.
Yes, yes, 100%. But I think the good thing about this space is that you need to be very true and very honest. So it's very much connected to the mentality that is around sustainability. If you try to fool or trick your fan base, you're done. They smell you from, you know, miles away.
Yes.
So you need to be true to the processes. You need to have an honest dialogue, a constant dialogue, because if you open a Discord page, you cannot open it and let it go by itself. You need to be on top of your keyboard and reply to people live 24/7. It's a full-time engagement, and I think it's the most powerful tool for the fan, you know, and your lovers to literally have a conversation, and it needs to be an honest conversation. So I think this space is gonna evolve more, but even allow all the standard brands to evolve their vision on interaction and communication with their users.
In your space, you are featuring, of course, the digital wearables, but also physical ones as well. So it's a really a hybrid of the two worlds, which is great, and just one is enhancing another. According to the Business of Fashion recently published State of Fashion Technology Report, there's a statistics that says over the next 2 to 5 years, fashion brands focused on metaverse innovation and commercialization could generate more than 5% of revenues by investing in virtual activities today. So for someone like yourself, who's historically been on top of you know, cultural zeitgeist through both your work and with influential brands, as well as your personal interest, pioneering in the realm of the Web3 and metaverse is a no-brainer. But for those newly entering the space, what kind of advice would you give?
You know, first of all, I want to make a big statement. If someone comes to you and tell you it's an expert in this space, it's totally lying. Okay, there are, of course, initiators, there are the OGs of this space, and they're the one that probably know the most about it. The truth is that it's all experimental, it's all in development. It's literally a baby step phase. So there is space for everyone to come in and literally change the game. So my recommendation to anybody that wants to experiment and really try to see and understand how they can be involved in here, it's literally to come in and be a little bit, you know, open-minded. Don't be scared, brave, jump in, make mistakes, because it's only through mistakes that then, you know, good opportunities could come. And now it's the right time also to make mistakes, because there is not a fixed model. Nobody will really judge you and kill you. What I would suggest, though, it's, you know, again, to stick to that value purpose that your brand or your organization has, and study a bit, you know, the value of the community within Web3. As I said before, there are very mindfulness. It's very important. They need to know who they have in front and what they stand for.
You have to be authentic in order to enter it. You have to want it from the inside. Yeah.
A million times, you know, it's so important that you have no idea. But you know, also what's quite interesting is that this is a space where values are so important that you can literally rewrite some of the rules of the game. I give you an example, a practical example. The fashion industry is, at the end, is becoming, you know, mass consumption. You need to produce and then try to sell what you produce. And then, you know, when you don't sell full price, you need to discount. And then if it's not discount, you need to trash it somewhere to someone that is going to send it far away from you. It's really technically unsustainable. It's all about big dollar sign, you know, and I should not say it, as I'm coming from a group as well that is in this business. But I feel the Web3 actually, and the community around Web3, have a total different approach to it. We did a drop, you know, of NFTs linked to physical goods, so a digital, if you want, item. And it's funny how people in this space are willing to invest on a product that they will receive few months out and they don't care. It's almost like I'm investing in your values, I'm investing in your project. I know it takes time to produce something valuable. I know it takes time to do something, good, high quality, and they're willing to wait. So it's a complete, 360-degree turnaround of mentality, which is amazing and needs to be preserved. So I always recommend to people to come in and study a bit the space around you, but don't be scared, enjoy the ride, because there is a very live community that want to experiment with you and try new ways to live a better life.
But this is so great to hear, because I think in order to, raise the consciousness around shopping is this idea of creation of an emotional value. It's like you're not just purchasing something, you're actually doing a research, who you want to talk to, who you are connecting with, who do you want to buy from. It's actually, everybody's investments has its vote. And this space seems like it can, it's already like that. And I hope it will influence also the external world. I think I think we are running a bit out of the time. We want to leave some questions for the audience. I really want to thank you, Ebru, Caterina, Walden, and Stefano for this conversation. Now I will take it to Daniel, who is going to sift through some audience questions, and then we'll wrap up afterwards. Daniel?
Thank you so much, Adriana, and everyone, for such an engaging conversation. So from our CFS community, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A section, and our panelists of speakers will be more than happy to answer.
But I really would like to hear Stefano right now, after hearing the space and the realities of the world. First Stefano, then as a producer, I will support Stefano, how we are planning to put in this space the product, and how I can as a tier to support you when you are putting this product.
Yeah, so I mean, on our side, what we're doing, we're releasing now NFT drops that are linked to real physical items. And the way we do it, we produce the goods afterward. And as simple as that, it's crazy how we're doing tailoring production at the end, because, we sell an NFT and then we do, polls on what color should this shoe be, what print do you want on the back. It's almost a co-creation. And then you basically deliver it once it's done. So to be able to collaborate with brands like yours and deliver projects that have also a sustainable corner and sustainable materials, I think it's totally doable, feasible, and actually it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And in the meantime, what I feel, because of this world, we make everyone to have equal, the rights to talk and decide and act on same time, instead of just make them to wait the product to be ready in the shops so they can decide in the beginning. So I think the rules change, Adriana, not only brands, tier 1, tier 2. I think that this supply chain really touched the shoppers as well because of this NFT life.
I think what happens here is that really from the beginning, inclusivity is the most important. Inclusivity from the design, inclusivity from the tech, inclusivity from the supply chain. It seems like if you don't communicate at the beginning, if you don't have everybody at the table, you can't make the smartest decisions. And this is really great, the metaverse, and actually even the internet in the first place, the social media communication that was just like a little prelude to what's happening now. And I think, the whole a new world is opening up where this co-creation and collaboration and smarter design is very important. So Daniel, do we have questions? Could you read some questions?
Yes, we have questions. So the first question is, to the denim brands, what do you think about a 100% post-consumer recycled denim as the future? So I don't know, would love to take over this question.
Shall we?
Well, I guess for us, again a little bit, science thinking maybe ambitiously and towards science fiction. Like one of the primary reasons why we're developing 3D weaving machine is that if you do cut and sew operation, like there are certain yarns that you can't recover through just like a physical, a mechanical, or a chemical recycling process. So like on the back end of like thinking through how you can 3D weave, like we're also trying to design a way to unravel the yarns that you can reuse in the garment, so that you're not necessarily going through the existing paradigm of mechanical chemical recycling where there's like a certain threshold beyond which the yarn strength is not high enough. So obviously it's, for us, it's highly experimental, but it's a vision that we're working towards there.
Thank you so much, Walden, for answering. And then I hope it answers your question, Ayush. And then we also have another question. I guess this one is for Stefano. In regards to the gaming market, who makes up the demographic, and are there the market for, is there a market for physical luxury goods?
Yes, actually, it's an interesting question. So we don't realize, but 3 billion people are active gamers, because active gamers, they're not only PC users, it's people that play on the phone during their commute, up to, the most extreme device, super technological simulators, etc., etc. So 1 out of 2 people at least plays, and we all play as well. And we don't realize how our life is been having this revolution of the gamification of our life. The way we trade, the way we, purchase, the way we, we do investments, we don't realize, but all these applications are becoming like little games that we play with, and at the end we are simply investing money. It's quite interesting, the psychology behind it. So there is a market, absolutely, yes. 40% of the gaming market is between 20 to 35-year-old, so they're already heavy spenders. They're already invested in consuming big time. And some luxury brands, more than others, have already been doing partnership, collaborations, etc., etc. So it's simply going to grow and become more and more important.
Yes, thank you so much, Stefano, for answering. And then the last question that I have here is how to connect physical products to digital NFTs. So I don't know, I would love to take over this one.
I mean, I'm willing, because I feel about it. Please, I don't also want to talk too much. No, it's a very seamless process. So if you buy an NFT, you need to connect your digital wallet. Once you purchase it, basically it's written in the blockchain. So every time you connect your digital wallet, I will see that you have that NFT. That allows us to develop a redeem process. So I create a redemption web page. You connect your digital wallet. I see you have the NFT, and I allow you basically to insert the information for me to sending you your physical items. It's a very banal process. It's not so complicated.
Thank you so much, Stefano. And then I think this is probably also headed your way too. So how does the trade of NFTs work when there is a physical product involved? Could this open up a space for something similar or related to a rental model?
Yes, actually, it's interesting enough. It's a great tool to manage secondhand, because that's something we are doing actually with OTB and Aura. We basically can certificate, authenticate, any physical goods, linking it to a code inside the blockchain, which basically tell us that that item is original. In the second that I generate that code, it can be an NFT, and I pair them, so I can then sell or resell that items in the NFT space, linking it to the physical items and vice versa. And it's basically a certificate of authentication that generates value for the brands itself, because if you sell on the secondary market in the blockchain, I am the originator of that NFT. I see the transaction and I can actually take a portion also of the transaction, or decide to do whatever, you know, maybe don't take the portion and give it in, you know, whatever, up for charity. I'm just saying that having a traced process is the first step, you know, to control the life of those items. And it's a huge value for all the brands, and also to make sure that the lifespan of physical products last way longer, or at least we have an idea also of the lifespan of product, because up to today, we don't really know because it's not traced. Once it's sold from a store or from a website, we kind of lose track of where our goods are going. So it's definitely a great tool.
Oh, thank you so much, Stefano. And then this one is for, I believe, for Ebru and Caterina. So it's from Yogen. So Yogen is asking, what are the biggest challenges related to more use of 3D technology in the design and product development processes for denim products to reduce material wastage and increase speed? Is this currently being used by suppliers and brands? So this could be between Ebru, Caterina, and Walden to give us like how it actually works. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Walden, you first.
We're so extreme, like, because we create custom on demand, like every single pair of jeans actually has a digital copy. We use browseware because we could write script to automate a big part of that process. And I also know that, for example, they have a collaboration running with Junologia that integrates into the laser edging process. So that's not new. Like we have shown some of the rendering to customers whenever they're debating between different styles, and you can get pretty photorealistic in terms of both fit, the drape, and also the finishing. So I would say that the tech is there from a 3D and design and rendering perspective, just from our standpoint.
And in terms of fabric and the design of the fabric, which starts with the innovation fiber style and also, you know, this integration to fabric format, of course, it's important, but the most responsibility in our area, like Genealogia, like others who are using 3D technologies, how best afford fabric we can achieve, as I'm always repeating, without sacrificing the look, this fresh look, because unfortunately, many parts of the industry, after using this kind of technologies, and the look washdowns, unfortunately, too much similar to each other. And that's why we have to be careful to integrate diversity and the variety of different products. That's why 3D supported fabric production in ISKO is also, you know, in our topic in terms of sustainable design part.
And from my side, just to end and complete what Walden and Ebru was saying, I link also to what Stefano was saying before, connecting through traceability and transparency. So having this very open, let's say, path that connect the customer to the end of life of a product, but also connect the customer to the sourcing at a very tier 4 stage. So I foresee that this is really the space in which you can have the customer within the product, meaning that it will be part of the creation, but also part of the sourcing of the material that is really part of our vision, since the strategy of the group is really starting from tier 4 and considering the complexity of the supply chain. At every stage you look at the design of the product, this will really enable to have an open and transparent environment in which we can operate.
It's not only just to it's actually this whole ecosystem is there to provide new life and not have the end of the life, especially through if we can trace everything, we can reutilize, be it through e-commerce or regenerative technologies that we have currently. So, well, thank you, Daniel, and thanks to the audience for your questions. Well, it's clear that we are living in the era of numerous challenges, but however, it's also clear that we have never been more equipped with more knowledge and new tools, and in particular when it comes to technology, which is obviously not here to replace the real world, but is here to make fashion ecosystem smarter, more interconnected, and ultimately more responsible. So it's an exciting time with endless possibilities, as we can see. We hope that these conversations have provided some food for thought on how you can leverage the current technologies, and also inspired you to collaboratively innovate within your own domains, because it's essential in order, if we want to make things better for the future than what they currently are. So I think we're just about a minute away. So I want to thank you all for sharing your stories, and also thank you all for tuning in. And I guess we will see each other somewhere at some conference, hopefully in the physical world. Otherwise, we see each other in Decentraland or at the CFS. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And be sure to be on the lookout for the upcoming newsletter, as well as the upcoming Circular Fashion Summit this November. And in terms of keeping the conversation going, do connect with us on different social media platforms at CFS by Lablaco on Instagram, as well as Twitter, and as well as CFS by Lablaco on LinkedIn. So yeah, let's keep the conversation going. And thank you so much to everyone for joining.